The American economy is the strongest economy in the world. We are a free market. The reason why you have so many people around the world willing to risk their lives to come to this country is because they have the ability to become successful in America. You have people, if you're born and raised in America and you've never seen anything outside of this country, it's very hard to understand. But you have people around the world that are literally willing to risk their lives to come to this country. Why do you have grown adults risking their lives, trying to leave their family, trying to leave their native homes to come to the United States? Because it's the land of opportunity.
Right.
That's why. And so America has a unique advantage where if you work hard, if you learn, you have the opportunity to succeed. Now, it can be harder because sometimes the system can lead you in the wrong direction. Sometimes you're told that, hey, you need to rack up $250,000 in student loans if you want to become successful. You need to do X, Y, and Z. Yes, there are places where the system lies to you and you can be screwed over if you don't understand money. But if you're willing to work hard, if you're willing to learn, you have the opportunity to become successful. You don't have that in other countries, even in other first world countries. You don't have that same opportunity. If you talk about in a third world country, you don't have anything remotely similar to that. In other countries, if you have a certain name, certain last name, people will not even allow you to do business with them because of what your name is, because of who your parents were. You don't have that same thing in the United States. Do you have racism? Yes. Is it harder for some people than others? Yes. I have encountered that myself. I have seen my fair share of racism. You can just look at the comments. I've seen my fair share of racist comments. But the opportunity in this country, in this economy, is better than anywhere else. Because you can understand that if you can create value, if you can solve a problem, you have the opportunity and the ability to succeed. Is it easy? No. Is it harder for some people than others? Yes. So our economy is the best in the world. The Federal Reserve Bank is hurting our dollar through the money printing, through the manipulation. But I believe in our economy, which is why I invest in stocks.
And there's a lot of people that come over here believing all of that same, land of opportunity. There's a lot of things that they can do. But the fact is, you said it yourself, there's a lot of institutions, banks, and the, student loan companies that we have out here that take advantage of people. So now you have millions of people coming to the United States, thinking it's the land of opportunity, thinking they have to get a college degree, thinking they have to take on debt. And now you have more people getting into more debt. And who does that benefit? Banks and the financial institutions.
Well, you're right. You don't have to worry about a bomb dropping over your head, which is another advantage. Now, this is where financial education comes in handy. This is what Minority Mindset is trying to promote. It's so you don't get screwed over.
Right.
And for somebody who is really trying to find their way to success, they will learn. You are going to see some people get screwed over that are handing over their paychecks to banks. They get caught up in the idea of, I want to get rich, I want to look rich, I want to have these nice things. So they rack up credit card debt. That is going to happen. I mean, whether you like it or love it, that happens. It's not something that we're trying to see happen. We're trying to make sure that people get financially educated so they can take care of themselves. But this is the place where you have the opportunity and the freedom to do what you want. Hey, if you want to live in credit card debt and you want to drown in debt and you want to look as rich as possible, it's a free country. You can do that. It's a free country. I do not promote that. I do not advocate that. I do not want you to do that. It hurts me when I see people do that. But it's a free country. And so you have the ability now to choose how you want to live. You don't have to live the way you grew up. You don't have to live the way your parents did. You don't have to grow up the same way your grandparents did. You can have a completely different life. It is in your hands if you are willing to put in that work and if you're willing to learn. It takes a lot of work. And it takes a lot of education. And if you're willing to do it, that opportunity is here in the United States. If you want it, you have that opportunity.
So you think America is the place for that, not any other country in the world? We are the best.
100%.
You don't think any other free nation or any other country that has similar kind of financial systems like we do?
If you think a country has a better financial system, then why don't you go there? America has the best land, the best opportunities in the world. Why do you think every major corporation in the world, every major business in the world, every major entrepreneur in the world wants to live in the United States?
Money.
The most opportunities here. There's a reason why. People want to live here. Now, are people leaving because of things that are not right? Yeah. I mean, you're seeing people leave the country who have become cryptocurrency millionaires because they don't like the way that the United States is taxing and regulating cryptocurrencies. We have to get competitive as a country. We have to stay competitive as a country. Not everything in this country is perfect. That's not what I'm trying to say. We have our own faults. But compared to other places in the world, we are the best, hands down. Now, we need to make sure that we stay competitive. But that is where, there's a reason why people want to be here. If you don't want to be here, you're free to leave.
Yeah, we've had that kind of title for a long time now, is like the land of opportunity.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing is every company, every empire, every country has a lifespan. And we've been at the top for a long time. And you can kind of look at this lifespan with the debt cycle. Ray Dalio calls it the long-term debt cycle, where you look at a course of great empires. After 50 to 100 years, every dollar, every currency goes through this sort of debt cycle where you build this massive bubble, it becomes very big, and then it ultimately bursts, and then it comes back down, and it causes kind of like almost like in a market crash where you see, redistribution of wealth, because then people who made a lot of money in the markets, they lose money, new people come in, they buy, builds new wealth for these people. You see the same thing happen in economies and countries through this long-term debt cycle. And so, the United States has been on top for a long time. And obviously that's concerning, because if we want to stay at the top, there are certain things we have to do, but they're painful. And right now we're not doing those things, like controlling your spending.
Does that scare you? And we're not doing them?
Absolutely. That's why I invest my money in the things that I talked about. I invest in real estate, I invest in stocks, I invest in companies, I invest in cryptocurrency, and I invest in commodities like gold. I can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow. I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't try to predict that. I move my money in a way where I can take care of myself, my family, and my community, because I want to make sure that I'm financially educated and that I can do that. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know if we're going to see a crash. I don't know if we're going to see a boom. I don't try to predict that. If I see a crash, I will buy more. But I am just trying to understand what is going on in the economy, in the world, that way I can make the smartest decisions with my money today.
So we actually have a few questions from some of our viewers on our YouTube channel that I want to ask you.
Sure.
So today we are getting a question from Just Ducky on our YouTube channel, and the question is all about, ironically, we talked about this already a little bit, about foreign exchange. So they want to know about trading and invest. The question is, a lot of today's era is about real estate and trading, investing in stocks. But what about foreign exchange? What about Forex trading? They want to know a little bit of your thoughts on this and what the kind of differences are.
I'm not a trader. I don't trade my money. I don't trade in stocks. I don't trade real estate. I'm not a flipper. I don't do Forex. I invest in real estate, stocks, companies, cryptocurrency, and commodities like gold. I don't do Forex.
What is Forex?
Forex is the foreign exchange market. You're trading dollars for pounds, dollars for euros. You're trying to just capitalize on little ups and downs. That way you can make some money quickly. I don't do that. I did try it when I was in college. I was trying to figure out how to make money. You can make a lot of money doing it. You have some people making a lot of money doing it, but it's not for me. I am not a trader. If you want to be a trader, you have to learn how to do it. It's highly risky. You can make a lot of money, but the majority of traders will lose money. It's not for me. I like investing.
Yeah, absolutely. Fair enough. Another question that we have today is from Sherwin D'Souza, and the question is very personal. What do your parents think about what you've achieved so far?
Oh, they love it now. They hated the idea of me being an entrepreneur before. They hated the idea of me not becoming a doctor before. But now it all changed once I started to see my success. I was working on a different business before Minority Mindset. And I didn't really tell my parents what I was doing. And then I was featured on the news. And my parents' friends called my parents. And they were like, oh, I just saw your son on the news. And they're like, oh, God, what did he do? They're like, no, he has this business and he's really successful and he's making a lot of sales. And they were like, what? It was a different business that I was running, a sock business. So they come up to me and they were like, what's going on with this? So that's when I started telling them, they knew that I liked entrepreneurship, but they didn't know that I was actually like fully vested in it. And when they started to see that, that's when all of a sudden things flipped, because before that they hated the idea.
I was
of
just
it.
about to ask, what did they think about it before?
They hated the idea before because, it's like they came to this country with very little. My parents came to this country with less than $100 and they busted their butt. They didn't take days off. They worked very, very, very hard because that's all they knew. And so when you come from that type of background, you want your kids to become successful. And the way that we're all taught is study hard in school, and get a good job. And so that's what I was told to do. Study hard, go and become a doctor, like most brown people, right? That's what you're told to do. And so when I told my parents that I didn't want to be a doctor, they were not happy. And then when they found out that I was going to be an entrepreneur, they had no idea what that was. They didn't understand it. They hated the whole idea of it. So I did it all in secret. And then as soon as I started to see my success, that's when things started to change. And now they love it. They absolutely love it now. It's crazy how things come full circle. We joke around about this all the time. But, I love my parents more than anything. They're the hardest working people that I know. And they just didn't have that financial education. And so they thought they were doing the right thing. But they didn't know what the right thing was for me.
Right.
But it doesn't really work like that. There's a lot more to becoming wealthy than just having a big salary. I mean, it can help, but if you don't know how to use your money, or if you don't have the right mindset, or if you don't know how to pay yourself, or if you don't have the right patience, then it doesn't really mean anything. It's all about what's in here before you make the money. If you actually want to become wealthy, there are 5 things you need to do.